halfway across the country, or if you're in another country, another city, they get to show you all the places that they enjoy, and they could rediscover those places. So I can see where having a long distance relationship could be interesting for both sides. But
Not
even though
only
it would
that,
be
you're going to be
difficult.
riding on that NRE if it's a new relationship.
Yeah, I've been flying high on the
new relationship energy, and it's
you don't even need a jet.
Yeah.
Just
And
slap
if you're traveling to a place where weed is legal, you're flying high on other things. You could be.
Please look after yourself and follow the laws wherever you land.
Right. So so I could totally see how LDRs could work and stuff like that. Even though, like I said, for me it would be difficult, but I think it could be interesting. So
well, you just change you still have the dates, which we're talking about dating. So if you have a long distance relationship, you can still date. You set aside time. There's technology. Our son is dating someone out of state, and they would sleep together.
Literally
on video, on video, they would
fall asleep with their phones next to them.
Yeah, with live video streaming,
sucking up all the Wi-Fi bandwidth.
But it helped their relationship, and it worked for them, and that's we thought it was sweet. Like, wow, that's.
I thought it was sweet after the first time I encountered the whole idea. I was a little creeped out.
Yeah, well, you walk into someone's room and the person isn't really there, but you hear another person. It's kind of like
you hear them snoring.
Yeah, it's like
she's sleeping. And I look down and I see the phone propped up, and I see a shadowy shape of a back because she's turned on her side away from the phone, and it's like. Yeah. And I'm going to step out now. Yeah. I don't think this young lady intended me to see her in her PJs. So,
so we went over different ideas of dating. Basically, they all still apply. All of the standard ways that you date, finding someone in a bar is not usually the best idea. Finding people in general. You just have to put yourself out there in the platforms that you are comfortable with and be upfront about who you are and what you want.
I generally think the hookup culture is kind of going away.
Yeah.
Just little by little, it's losing all of its momentum. It's gotten caught up with a lot of inherent problems because you don't know what kind of a monster this is until it might be just too late. But there seems to be, as a result, there's a kind of a vacuum in the space for relationship styles like ours. Polyamorous people coming in and saying, hey, we can fill this area.
You don't have to be monogamous. Being non-monogamous, ethically non-monogamous, is an option. And, do what you do. Yeah. That's what it is. Just do what you love to do. Find the people you love doing it with and enjoy life.
You're going to be judged by everyone.
Right.
There's that quote that goes around. I don't know who it's by, but I take it and kind of turn it into my own thing. And I even told our son, and we were talking to one of our friends the other day, and I told them the same thing. You're going to be judged by everybody you meet regardless.
Right.
So why not live the life you want to live?
Be you.
Yeah. Dating-wise, what else can we delve into?
In terms of long-distance relationships, I would say keep them in the loop as an ethical form of non-monogamy. As in, hey, I'm dating this person. I'm living in Maine. I'm not really, but for this example, living in Maine and dating somebody in California, and I found somebody in Maine. Maine's a big state.
Wait. More than 2 people live in Maine?
Wow. I think it's like 9 or 10.
Oh,
but anyway, one of those 10.
Are poly. Holy shit. Yeah. What are the odds?
Pretty good, actually.
Oh, yeah.
To be perfectly honest, pretty good. Because a lot of struggling people who struggle with infidelity are actually just poly, and they have no other way to express it. But include your comment in your stuff. Hey, I found this person across the street from me, and I will still be by to see you on our planned vacations, just telling you that this person is now a thing.
And a comet is someone who, you'll see every now and then, but when you do see them, sparks fly type of thing. It's a big deal. So it's not something you see on a regular basis. It's just when they come back into your life, it's all fireworks type thing.
But in order to be a comet, it has to be a regular thing. It's not just like a one-time flyby.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I haven't seen you for 20 years. Let's hook up.
Yeah, pretty much.
Dating and just maintaining your current relationships, straight away you want to talk about the things that are most important to you. Like, one of the biggest things is protection.
Mm-hmm.
What do your partners prefer? What are your preferences? What have you decided is acceptable? That's probably going to be one of the first date kind of questions, or something that you discuss in chat message, or because that can be a deciding factor as to whether you want to continue the relationship or not.
Mm-hmm.
Because if one person's form of preventative measures differs vastly from yours, then you are going to have,
a bad time.
Mm. Yeah, and when the clothes are hitting the floor is a bad time to start the conversation.
Oh, yes. No. That's when things happen that you don't want to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to have conversations with your other partners that you probably don't want to have.
Yeah, like, you can have some permanent thing coming out of it, like a kid.
Mm.
Or an STD.
Oh, yeah, that too. Wait,
Yeah.
aren't kids kind of
They are, actually.
yeah, parasitic?
Life is an STD.
Yeah. There's important things, and you have to realize that that's part of being polyamorous. Your mind should never get out of that dating mindset when you're going into relationships. It's important to remember all of the things that it takes to have a date, to go on a date, to be a good date. Zan and Crow, they both open the doors for me. They both do things like that. That's who they are. That's what they do. They're romantic in that way. And so if they met someone else, I would expect them.
Oh, trust me, she would give a shit if we did.
Yeah, to treat the person that they met the same. And they should also, that's up to them if they decide to do it or not. But I'm just saying that you need to maintain that dating persona and think about all the things, ask the questions. Just because you have 10 other relationships doesn't mean the new relationship that you're in deserves anything less than all of the other things that you gave the other people that you have now established relationships with. It's important that you take the time to form those relationships and to make sure that you have the time to give those people in the ways that they want them. And you may agree or, figure out that you can only dedicate this time to this person and they only have this time to dedicate to you. And you have to have conversations and communicate about whether that's acceptable, and how to proceed in moving forward. There's a lot of things you need to figure out. Do you have any hard no's? And it doesn't matter if it's taboo or a social stigma, but if you have a hard no against something and that it's really not preferable to you, then you need to let that person know, or make sure you're asking the questions to find out those things about those people and be like, I don't really think this will work out, but I think you're a really awesome person. It's just I don't want to do this.
But Jay, that's so difficult.
Hey Jay, here's a box I want you to fit in.
And what if I really, really like them except for this one horrible thing? And then I could maybe encourage them to change, and that would work, right? That always works. That's
a lot of times it's not even the person that you feel like you could encourage to change. You feel like you could change yourself to fit into this whole world that they've created that you want. You have a feeling, and pretty well without a doubt before you met this person that this was a hard no for you. Well, now you met this person and you start to get the feels, and now you start to think, is this something that I can work around? Can I be this person for them? And you start to backtrack on those hard no's that you had set, and that's a really bad idea.
Mm-hmm. that you're going to have a bad time.
Yeah.
Now, some of your no's could be things that you find out you enjoy, but it's definitely something you need to discuss, which is
Right.
why one of our things is truth, honesty, and communication
Yeah.
are very important when it
Take a
comes
sip.
to any poly relationship or
Yeah.
even monogamous relationship. So just be honest with yourself, be honest with your partners, and all that good stuff. I mean, you have to have fun out there, live life.
And don't
Be safe.
care. Don't care if the things are taboo or
Yeah.
socially seen as a mark of like a cruel person. When you get older, even when you're not, maybe you've decided that the partner you want, if they have small kids, if they have different things, or let's just use the small kids as an example, but you start liking them and really want to be with them, how comfortable are you going to be with? And you have to figure out that type of thing, because having children in your life, no matter how much you're around or not, you're still going to be an influence and have some sort of impact on the child's life.
Right.
And they will still be a parent.
Yeah.
It depends on your arrangement and agreement, and how much, maybe the child will be with someone else when you see them, that kind of thing. But they will still impact your life, because your partner is going to have emergencies. Your partner is going to have canceled plans if you've agreed not to be around while the child is around.
Yeah, kid gets sick, you
The
have a
kid
date.
gets sick, you have a date. I'm sorry,
home.
you have, we
have
have
a
to
recital.
cancel tonight. They have this, they have that. So, but that's a very taboo subject, and people think it's so socially cruel but that's a thing. And if you can admit that to yourself, that is a great self-realization.
But
Yeah.
if you grow out of your hard nose, if you develop out of them, that's one thing. That's perfectly fine.
That's
you can
great.
do that. You can absolutely do that. But just don't get the feels and magically drop your hard no because you suddenly feel okay. That's NRE clouding your judgment.
Yeah.
That is that new relationship energy, and you think everything is just hunky-dory, and yeah, I totally feel like I can step out of this. It's fine to test the waters.
My hard-nosed feet.
But, but don't just drop all of your boundaries just because this person is new and exciting.
Right.
Think about it. Live with it a little bit. Just test it out a little bit. Tell them what you're doing. Tell them, hey, this is ordinarily a hard no, but I really like you and I'd like to explore this a little bit. But it could still, at the end of a day or a week or a month, it might still end up being a hard no.
And they should be okay with that. Or, time to find somebody else.
Yeah.
If they can't accept the fact that that's a hard no.
And they might take that and say, you know what? I don't even want to do that. I'm not your experiment.
Right.
I'm not in the headspace where you can try this out with me.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because some people, and we mentioned this before in a different episode, we talk about having somebody coming into the poly life, maybe they are experimenting. But this is where communication comes in. You need to talk to them and make sure that they're going to be okay with things, and that's where... And it's a big thing whenever somebody is new to poly. Again, somebody starts somewhere doing something new, and that's how it is. So don't just judge people. You know what? Do what you want to do. But for me, for us, don't judge people coming in and say, well, this person's new to poly. I'm totally not going to be dating them because of blah, 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 because they're new. They're fresh fish. And so, like I said, do what you want to do. But
do everybody a favor and talk it over with everybody involved.
Right, because if there is somebody new, again, somebody has started somewhere in the poly lifestyle at some point. Think of you coming into the poly lifestyle and how difficult it was for you to start off, finding a relationship or something like that. Just make sure that, you're communicating with them, you're, talking with them as to what you expect out of a relationship, and things may work out for them, things may not, but you got to be okay with that. You got to be okay with, you have to be okay with it, like every other relationship. It may not work out between y'all. Y'all may not say, hey, look, I know you're new to poly. Here's what I expect. And this is what I need out of this relationship. If you can't give that to me, then I'm sorry. It just won't work. But that's where you, being an adult and adulting, comes in.
And I'd encourage everybody out there to, if they have that experience where they were upfront, they communicated all of this stuff, and it scared the person away, or the relationship for one reason or another fell flat, didn't work out, couldn't make